Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. We're here in Guanacaste province of Costa Rica, and I just wanted to do a video kind of detailing a little bit about what this area kind of looks like. We're at the end of the dry season. Everything's a little bit on the crispy side. A lot of trees without leaves and pretty hot and humid, but just kind of an interesting area, and one that has a lot of kind of interesting characteristics that you don't see in other areas of Costa Rica, where they're a little wetter, where they have a little more green foliage year round. This particular area it's at the end of the dry season, so it is mid-April, and as you can see, as we kind of pan around, this is a bit of a viewpoint that I thought I would start out with. And we are right near a town called Las Catalinas, and it's kind of a touristy area where a lot of hiking trails and mountain biking, things of that nature. Great area to kind of introduce yourself to this type of tropical dry forest. And I'll get a little closer into some things I looked at, trying to identify some of the major species here. But Costa Rica has 2,300 plus species of tree alone. So as things without leaves especially, it's pretty difficult to make any sort of definitive kind of identification for, especially for somebody like myself that has no prior experience in this area. But nonetheless, interesting just to see kind of what it's like. As you can see, there's a lot of kind of dry grass, scrubby trees that are just starting to get some of their leaves back, as some of the early rains are coming and have come to this area. It's still, though, extremely hot and humid. I think it's probably 35 Celsius today, and thankfully not terribly sunny. But as far as kind of the animal life that we've seen, there's some very commonly seen lizards, iguana, a lot of bird life, but haven't seen a whole lot else. So, and as you can see, we're on the coast, so there's pelicans and things of that nature, and some of the seabirds, but a few hummingbirds as well, and howler monkeys. I should mention that because I believe I just heard some. So we'll have a kind of a closer look into the forest in a minute here, but just a gorgeous area. Here we have kind of a bright green anomaly here, where, meaning there's not a lot of leaves out, but this particular species is fully leafed out and looks quite beautiful. Small, delicate leaves with thorns. This might be maybe kind of related to an acacia or something like that, it looks to me, but very interesting. Thorny, kind of with delicate leaves. Beautiful little small tree or shrub. And here's another kind of interesting species here. You can see it's almost like succulent type branches and large leathery type leaves growing out of the branches. Pretty interesting. I know this view isn't great with the kind of the backlit. It's tough to see, but where it's located, I kind of have to look almost directly above. But here, actually, here's one set of leaves that might show up a little bit better. Very interesting looking. Not sure on the species or even the family, but I just thought this was kind of an interesting look at something a little bit different. Here's actually something kind of interesting. It's not only tree and shrub species in the area, but as you can see here, the lianas, which are the vining species, are also quite prevalent here. Pretty interesting. I've seen a couple here that actually look to be damaging the host. One like this just looks to be kind of competing for light. Doesn't appear to be kind of like a strangler type species, but pretty interesting. You can see just a small, kind of a small bottom section, maybe 3/4 of an inch diameter, but they run all the way to the top of the tree here. And of course in the background, the views that kind of distract from everything here, those amazing sea views through the bushes. Just a interesting area here. And you can see instead of grass here, it's mostly just kind of crunchy dry leaves. But just wanted to kind of show these lianas or vines that are prevalent in some of the larger trees here. Here's another kind of area on a bit of a hillside, exposed to kind of a sea breeze as it comes over the hill. And you can just see the incredible biodiversity of the area. Even a dry forest like this, where it would be limited compared to, you know, a wetter rainforest area. But we have like a species of agave or something similar, and just dozens of different species of, you know, small trees, shrubs, trees, everything. Just a really incredible area, and it seems like it's, to me anyway, it seems like it's underappreciated in Costa Rica because there's so much here, biodiversity wise. But this area, you know, shouldn't be overlooked, I guess, because there is just a lot to see here as well. Here's a great example of some of the fungal activity in the area. We can see that it looks largely inactive during the dry season because it's very, very hard, dry, and powdery. But any kind of wood on the forest floor has this is like a white plate type fungal growth on a piece of wood, and it looks like during the rainy season decomposition here would be pretty quick, but in the dry season everything appears to go on hold, including some of this fungal activity. Kind of an interesting spot for sure. Another interesting find here, you can see we have this quite leafy vine growing along the dead and decaying wood here, right near the seashore. We're maybe 50 feet over the water. Pretty interesting looking and vibrantly green vine growing here among the gray and brown of the leaves and dead wood, but very kind of interesting. Here's kind of a more open area of the forest where the brush or the small bushes and such have been cleared, as you can see here in front of us. But just kind of an interesting view into the structure of the forest without the small bushes. I'm not really sure why they cleared it, but as you can see, I'm on a well-used trail, and just kind of the larger trees are left, but it gives you a real interesting kind of view of what the big structure is. And you can see a lot of vine lianas type plants hanging down from the trees, from the branches. So these ones here were cut off at the bottom and are just hanging now. And some of the leaves coming out on these guys, on these trees. But beautiful spot. You can see here a lot of the brush that was cut looks to be piled in this kind of ravine area. So this may serve a bit of a dual purpose for fire prevention and erosion control. That's if I had to guess. So a couple of things. It appears in this forest like fires are pretty frequent, as I see quite a bit of evidence of burned stumps and logs and things. And the recyclers here appear to be the fungi that we saw, termites and fire in this area, which is really interesting, and I can see why they would want to mitigate fire in this area, as there's a town that we saw, Los Catalinas, right around the corner here. So just kind of a guess at why they're clearing the brush in this area. A bit of a fire break is the assumption, but it's only that, like I say. So well, this looks like a pretty good spot to bring this particular dry forest or dry scrubland video to the close, looking through the scrubland right down to the waves breaking on the shore and listening to the sound. It's quite an amazing place. And one of the larger trees in the area here next to us, and just a real kind of peaceful place to explore. I highly recommend it if you're in the area. Las Catalinas in Guanacaste province, Costa Rica. A beautiful spot and lots of kind of interesting biodiversity to explore, and in my case to learn about. There's just, being a fan of the natural areas around the world, every single place has its incredible attributes, and I just kind of really do enjoy being in them and learning about them as much as possible, and bringing them kind of to YouTube. And hopefully, you can see a flock of pelicans flying by there below us. Pretty amazing. Anyway, yeah, bringing some of the stories to YouTube just to kind of at least give a cursory look at what's growing in these different areas. But a beautiful spot, and thank you for watching.